Hey guys, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you just arrived, please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe below, turn on notifications with the bell, and leave a like on the video. We're coming to you directly from Morristown, where the Brazilian national team is staying to face Morocco in their debut at the 2026 World Cup. And we're here directly from New Jersey, right? We're just a few kilometers from the training center where Flamengo players and former Flamengo players are also training with the Brazilian national team in Morristown. And we're also very close to the team's base here, right? The hotel, the resort where the Brazilian national team is staying. And today we got this news, the bad news about the right back Wesley being cut. And actually our team, I just got here a moment ago. Our team who was already here, our reporter Gabriel Orfon, went to the place to try to report on it, right? To try to capture the moment when Wesley was leaving, when he was being released. Unfortunately, this news about Wesley being released, right? About him being dropped, in the case of Wesley being cut from the World Cup, everyone is very sad. We have some statements here to share with you, right? Man, it's a sad chapter, right? Flamengo itself calls this cut of Wesley a sad chapter. He's a guy I really care about, a fantastic human being, a really good kid. And we also had several Flamengo players speaking out, right? Former players also spoke out as well. Look, our Capacete Junior Maestro. Hey, come on, kid. Life doesn't end with this cut. There are a lot more good things to come. Further ahead, Alexandro, right, also from Flamengo, the fullback, strength and lots of peace, my brother. Have a good recovery. And Everton Ribeiro, stay strong, brother. May God bless you, and you'll have more opportunities ahead. Danilo Luiz, I love you. Look at our defender, fullback Danilo, right? Publishing, I love you. Bruno Henrique, stay strong, may God bless you. W43, hands up, that's it. Prayer and a little juice. A little fist bump. Vinny Jr., stay strong, my brother. We're going to play for you. Get well soon. So Vinny Jr. is saying we're going to play for you. Lucas Paquetá, stay strong, my brother. Jesus is still in the boat, right? We're always together. Look at that, huh? I called it earlier. Paquetá and Wesley together, right? So Wesley is getting support from former players, current Flamengo players, and former Flamengo players who are also on the Brazilian national team. Yeah, it really is sad, right? It's very sad news. Our great right back, Wesley, being ruled out, but we know he'll have more opportunities for sure. Look, that's it. Wesley also posted the following. Today I need to put my dream on hold because of an injury. It hurts not to be able to keep wearing the Brazilian national team jersey at this moment, but anyone who knows my story knows that giving up was never an option. I've come a long way, went through hardships, faced challenges, and had to overcome many obstacles to get here. Nothing was handed to me. Every achievement was built with hard work, faith, sacrifice, and a lot of resilience. That's why I face this moment the same way, right? Just like I faced all the others, with my head held high, trusting in God, and certain that I'll come back even stronger. Thank you all for the messages, the affection, and the support. This isn't the end of the dream, it's just another chapter in my story. Falling is part of the journey, getting back up has always been my greatest strength. And Wesley, God usually gives us 7 times more than what we lose. You can be sure of that. You can be sure of that. Look, Flamengo also made a post, right? Sending a message to Wesley. Look, we're always with you. Those who follow you day to day know how hard you work to get here. The opportunity with the Brazilian national team was a reflection of your soccer and your dedication. This injury is a sad chapter, but it doesn't define your story. Flamengo and the nation embraced you at this moment, right? They embrace you at this moment. Keep your head up. We're with you, Wesley. Your future is bright. That's what the official Flamengo profile wrote, okay? So, these are sad news, but at least we see everyone together with Wesley. Yeah, you can see back here, that's where the training center is, right? Where Brazil is training. We're really close, okay? And tomorrow, early in the morning, there's a press conference, there's training, also from the Brazilian national team. And we're here with the sponsorship. Leão Infusions. And look, you can get your little lion, that's right. There are 25,000 little lions in the Leão Infusions boxes, okay? So you could be one of the lucky ones, right? By getting the Leão Infusions products, right? Your teas, look at that. Leão tea, you can win a little lion. There are also several types of lions, okay? This one is theirs. It's the one I thought was the coolest. Stay tuned and make sure you get yours. Get your Leão, right? You might get lucky. Why not try? Who says you won't? Our tips channel is booming, and we're here too. Remember, you can still secure your spot at the World Cup with Haroldo's Caravan and at Flamengo's games after the World Cup, right? There's Copa Libertadores in BH, there's a full package, there's the Cup, there's also Libertadores at Maracanã, where you can secure your ticket, right? It's a package with a ticket included at Maracanã, right? Caravana do Haroldo's fantastic support service, and you can also secure your spot at the Brasileirão games. Besides that, you can also get the amazing treatment from the Mais Slim Linda Mais Cabelo program right now, okay? All of that, all our sponsors are there. Just like Assist Assist 365, if you're traveling to the World Cup, go with Assist Assist A 365. You'll be fully insured, fully covered in case of emergency. You won't have to pay out of pocket. You'll travel with peace of mind to the World Cup in Mexico. Canada, United States, Brazil might play in Canada, in Mexico, or in Houston. Yeah, you could also be going to other games and you can be insured in all these countries. So look for Assist Assist 365. All our sponsors are there in the pinned comment and in the description. Now let's bring you some important information, right? Transfer market news. You know, we brought you the news about Almada, right? The thing is, Flamengo has a great relationship with Atletico de Madrid. We talked about the news that came from there, from Leo Jose and his team. Actually, it was Rock Hudson from Coluna do Fla, which is also on GE. It was Rock Hudson. He brought the information that Flamengo was already trying to convince the midfielder to come play in South America and sign for Flamengo. They are already working on convincing the South American midfielder who plays in Europe. And we brought the information that Flamengo recently made inquiries about Thiago Almada. And in addition to that, the excellent relationship between Flamengo's board and Atletico de Madrid's board. Flamengo recently signed Saúl from Atletico de Madrid. Flamengo had also signed Felipe Luis, who made history at Atletico de Madrid. Felipe is always going there, attending their training sessions and everything. This relationship he has, being an idol there and all, ends up creating this connection with Flamengo. The signing of Samuel Lino, one of the biggest sales, was to Atletico de Madrid, a recent deal. Now there's the possible 45 million euro deal for João Gomes, right? Negotiations between Wolverhampton and Atletico de Madrid are underway, and Flamengo might have to receive 35 million reais in solidarity payments, which could happen, right? Including, it's something to consider as a deduction, right? For example, just think about it. Flamengo helps Atletico de Madrid sign the player they want, which is João Gomes. They're interested in João Gomes, him. Wolverhampton was relegated, and Atletico de Madrid is interested in signing João Gomes. Flamengo is entitled to receive about 35 million reais if João Gomes is sold for 45 million euros. What? They're interested in João Gomes, and Flamengo wants to sign a midfielder. Look at how an interesting deal could happen. João Gomes going to Atletico de Madrid, and then instead of Flamengo, right? And then, of course, with the amount you have to pay there, about 35 million reais to Flamengo, you'll already have a way to deduct it. It's less money you have to spend to pay. That's this solidarity mechanism. And the other commission that Flamengo is entitled to, the total amount, in fact, according to GE brought this news of 35 million reais, that Atletico de Madrid, if they sign for 45 million euros, have to pay Flamengo. It's for the signing of João Gomes. And then Flamengo wants Almada, precisely from Atletico de Madrid, and already has a great relationship with them. They want 20 million euros for 50% of Almada. Flamengo, if Almada comes here, won't want to sell Almada. So soon, it's unlikely that Atletico de Madrid will see that 50%. It's easier for Flamengo to keep buying another percentage of him than to actually sell. And the news that came out, which even some profiles covering Palmeiras are talking about, is that Almada got excited about the deal and he's willing to sign with Flamengo after the World Cup, okay? Yeah, Flamengo should really have a more restrained transfer window, but this situation with the sale of João Gomes, right, to Atletico de Madrid, which is exactly the club that Almada belongs to, right? That could make it easier for Flamengo to make the deal happen, okay? So we already know that Atletico de Madrid is really going to negotiate Almada. Flamengo, just like River, has already shown interest. Flamengo never denies it at any moment, right? The inquiry about Almada, when talking to a source connected to Flamengo's board, what they told us is that there's nothing new, okay? So they don't deny it, but they say there's nothing new. I really believe that this good relationship, this history involving João Gomes, and still, right? The history of signings of players and former players from Atletico de Madrid, I think Flamengo has an advantage, okay? So, according to these Palmeiras pages, Almada would have been interested in Flamengo's project, okay? You know, he would have been happy with Flamengo's interest in signing him, okay? So we might have Flamengo making progress here. It's a position that Leonardo Jardim is totally interested in. And there's another situation, right? Flamengo, which is also a forward, right? Flamengo is looking for a forward in the transfer window. They're searching through scouting, meaning a cheaper player. They won't spend that much maybe, right? With this situation, like I said about João Gomes, the possibility might come up for Flamengo with a lower amount to be able to reach the value needed to sign Thiago Almada, okay? Another situation for us to bring up, which I think is important, is about Arrascaeta, right? As we mentioned earlier, Flamengo released a statement, right? Calling what they did to Arrascaeta irresponsible. And Flamengo is absolutely right. It's Flamengo who pays the player's salary, right? It's Flamengo, man, who then has to work on the player's recovery. Flamengo sent the physical therapist there to help with Arrascaeta's recovery, over in Uruguay at the COM for the Uruguayan Federation. But Flamengo really went off, right? With the Uruguayan Federation, and they're absolutely right. Yeah, Flamengo is totally right in this situation. Flamengo is the one who pays the player's salary. I've said this a few times already, and they have every right, the right to complain. Look, we have Flamengo's statement here, right? Flamengo, I really like this part here. Look, it's about disrespecting scientific protocols, putting the player's health at risk, and irresponsibly ignoring the investments that clubs make to have their players available for the various challenges that the schedule imposes. That's absolutely right, Flamengo. We have more information here from the transfer market, and Flamengo has a striker, right? Who might be close to reaching an agreement with the Japanese club, okay? It's actually a relief for Flamengo because he's a player Flamengo doesn't want to have back. We're talking about Carlinhos, right? Flamengo signed him back when he was at Nova Iguaçu, right? He's at Remo now, isn't he? He's on loan from Flamengo to Remo. He also had a stint in Bahian football, right? So, Carlinhos' time at Remo is coming to an end. He doesn't have a place in the coaching staff's plans. Man, not even in Bahia's football, not even in Pará. It's impressive, man. Impressive, right? Yeah, he's already working on deciding his next destination and has advanced negotiations to play in Japanese football in the coming months, okay? Yeah, the interest from the Asian market has gained strength behind the scenes and has become a priority for the player. Carlinhos sees the international transfer as an opportunity to start a new phase in his career after a quiet stint at the club from Pará, okay? The departure pleases all parties involved. Remo doesn't intend to use the striker for the rest of the season, while Flamengo also shows no interest in bringing him back to the squad after the loan ends. Guys, so Japan becomes an interesting destination for Carlinhos, right? What a guy. Unbelievable. It didn't work out. Cuiabá even tried to get some information, but he wants to play outside Brazil, okay? Yeah, the club that's interested in Carlinhos hasn't been revealed, but it's a Japanese club, man. Right? It's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. When he arrived, there was confidence that he could be an excellent striker, right? Yeah, he arrived as a promising player, he really did. It didn't work out at Flamengo, it didn't work out in Brazilian football, it didn't work out with first division teams. It's unbelievable. That's it. I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Thank you so much for your company. Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo, all right?